Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a review. My name is Travis. Now, today, or whenever tonight, weekend, weekday, leap year, whenever you're listening to this, I am reviewing My Spy, starring Dave Bautista, the movie that has been delayed so much. It's supposed to come out like last February, and then it was delayed to. No, I think it was supposed to be last year. I think it got to February, and then it was March, and then obviously now because COVID stuff going on, came out on Amazon Prime. And speaking of COVID, go to Patreon right now. You can join any tier, the Fighty Fighters tier, the Back to Formula, best tier yet. Usually the $25 tier is when you join that, you get everything. You get the exclusive episodes, you get the early episodes, you get the ad-free episodes, so check that out. And a big shout out to everybody that's supporting us there. We got a lot of new people and a lot of people upping their subs, so we really appreciate that because, one, it's great to talk and you guys get to enjoy the content, but two, you guys are supporting us in a time where it's an honest thing as when there's not huge movies or massive news coming out, our ratings take a dip too. So thank you very much for people supporting us on that level. We mean a lot because that's your hard-earned money. So we try to work hard for that and we try to make you proud of that. And that's why whatever tier you join, you get to recommend a movie. So do that. We've reviewed a variety of movies. So you can go back and listen to everything we've done these past few weeks. And then after that, we got a newscast coming up. We do have a retrospective of some sort. I did announce it was going to be Fantastic Four, but we might have to do the Nolan movies because they're saying that the Nolan Tenet movie is not being delayed. So we're going to wait and figure that out. But there will be some good, juicy retros coming. As always, head down in the description below in the video and audio feeds. They will have the description. They should have the description. If not, I've done something wrong. They'll have all the places you can find us on the interwebs for the podcast and audio and video feeds. So you can do that. Head over to our social media for Twitter and Facebook because one might be a now voice crack. There might be an announcement in the near future that could be quite fun for Geekverse and the future of some other things we might be doing. I'm being very coy about it, but I can't announce it yet. There's actual contracts, legitimately actual contracts that have to be signed. So there you go. What else? Yeah, just subscribe. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts if you like what I do, if you like what Dylan does with the game reviews, Taylor does with the player's perspective, or what we just do in Geekverse in general as far as the retros, the newscasts, the reviews. Please give us a review. We need to get to 200 reviews on Apple Podcasts. We are 172. We are so close. So that's the easiest thing. If you can't support us, just subscribe and give us a review. It takes 2 minutes, both of those together. I bet if you're pro, even if you're not a pro, if you're normal like me, you could probably do it in under 2 minutes. So very easy to do, and we appreciate it. If you want to support us at all, that's the way to do it. My Spy. Let's talk about this. I don't know. What do we do, guys and girls? Do we do a spoiler section for this? Are you worried about... Okay. I will... You know what? This is going to be just a full-on spoilers review. I'll give you the opening if I... Next 30 seconds to a minute will be the non-spoilers, what I thought, and I'll let you know. Because this movie is very generic. I just reviewed, go check out, I reviewed Extraction. I said this is a movie you've seen 100 times. Same thing. You go watch Kindergarten Cop, and it's this movie. You can go watch you watch Pacifier. You can watch any movie where cop gets put in position with a kid. He's cold, shut off, he warms up, falls, in love with somebody that's kind of around that is he builds a connection with, and he falls in love with this kid in the sense of he learns to love this kid in a sense of, could be my own, stuff like that. You have seen this movie so much and done better. This is not a terrible movie. This is a movie, here you go, I'll give a 6 out of 10. I was just talking about this Extraction. My base points are always if it's made well, acted well, made competently, just competently, you usually get a pass from me for the most part. As long as there's nothing, go check out the Extraction review as well. Nothing so terrible that I got a docky points. The 6, I could have given it a 5. The reason I gave 6 out of 10 is there's some lines. I think Bautista's improving as an actor all the time. I do wonder why he took the script because he's a guy, and actors say a lot of stuff, but I believe him just because I've literally followed his whole career. And he's said on many times on the podcast, and he's taking shots at John Cena and The Rock for doing fast because I want to do good movies. The way he's talked about his career and wanting to build it, this is a movie that I was surprised he did. And he's also talked about producing, and he says that's what he wants to do a lot, where he wants to build up a career so he could eventually produce and make films himself and stuff like that, which is very respectable. I get that. That's somebody in myself wants to do film one day, hopefully. My life is busy, and I always have some sort of excuse, but That's one of my goals this year. Get really into it. But and even Geekverse, that's another tease. Hopefully, you never know. Things are always changing. But so for him, I respect that. If okay, he wants to make that career and then do something on his own, build up producing. He produced this movie, and I don't know if it's just right time, right place. I don't know if it's he gets a nice pay bump from producing the certain movie, or it's something he's really passionate about. I'm not gonna take any major shots. I just think if he was passionate about this, he should get a better team representing him. It's not a bad movie. It's just one I don't know why he would have taken on for a few reasons as a producer and actor. One, it's nothing other than some comedic chops. It's nothing I don't think he could already do. And two, I just don't think it would be a major hit. So I don't know why you'd do that. The problem with this film, and here's some non-spoiler stuff, I think the first half feels a lot of it's going for that pacifier family vibe, but then after it feels more adult, not adult like rare or anything, but just like you have the girls they prostitute, you have some swearing, you have some violence, you have some people threatening to kill a child. It feels they're trying to get the best of both worlds, and that's the thing about the pacifier. That's full on. This is a kids family Disney movie, right? Where Kindergarten Cop has those elements, but to me veers more. This is for adults, but it has some fun kid humor you understand because you either have kids, you have a niece or nephew, you've been exposed to kids, so you would understand some of this humor. Where this kind of tries to have both ways, so I think that not really hit. And two, I just don't know if it would be a hit in this type of climate. So I understood why they would put it to Prime, but I just wonder with Batista. I'd like to know that, and I'm never gonna find out. But it just to me, what he said made it sound like he wanted to produce more original, unique content, and maybe that's what you got to do. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's kind of bone for you, bone for me. Maybe hey, you produce this one, then the next one you can go make your Lighthouse and make your Midsommar. Am I saying I need that Batista? No, but just the way that I've heard him talk about his film career in the past few years, I expected more than this. This movie you've seen a bunch. I think the acting's fine. There's some fun lines in here. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Who I'd recommend it to? If you really liked Batista, I watched most things wrestler do. I didn't watch that John Cena Fire Hall movie. That looked awful. So if it's awful, I really won't. But I usually support wrestlers because I don't know. It's just a kind of a weird fan brotherhood thing, right? Even if he's someone like John Cena, who I hated for years, like, well, if he does good, it's kind of just it shows a better light on the business because before wrestling was always so hokey. It was like, oh, look at these losers in tights, and now it's like, oh, well, The Rock, who's the biggest star 2 years in a row, was a fucking wrestler. So, is it so hokey now? So I definitely am always backing wrestlers to build up and get bigger and bigger. So I think Batista's good in this. As I said earlier, I think Batista from when I watched him now to a few years ago, even the stuff he was doing in Spectre, and then watching this, is like, man, he's getting good. He might be the best like actor out of the wrestling bunch. Actually, no, I'm not saying I think he is the best. Whether it's Cena, Hogan, Rock. Rock is great, but I think Batista has a lot more range. So fantastic job by Dave that way. I don't think it's an amazing performance, anything as far as something again he couldn't already do. So if you could watch it with family members that are maybe it all depends on your household, right? Because there is some swearing. A child says the word prostitute, but for me, it's just like it all depends because that wouldn't offend me. But I just mean when I was watching, like, is this a full-on family movie? I would say maybe I was gonna say 8, but maybe 10 to be safe. If you have kids 10 and over, I'd say you kind of skirt. But again, if you're a more sensitive parent, then maybe that's your call. You can look up best movie place ever as kids in mind. It's a thing that you go there, lists all the bad things in a movie. It might spoil some things, but still, if you're really worried, and you don't need to be worried about spoiling this movie, but if you're really worried about should I put this movie on with my kid, go check that out. So here's some spoilers for you. I'll give you a 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna drink some of this chocolate milk, and then we'll get into spoilers. Um, yeah, it's every trope you've seen. He has to guard this girl. The girl warms his heart, and they become friends. There's a mom that's with a single widowed mom. Oh, are they gonna end up together? Yep, they are. The only trope they didn't do is they introduced that he has this partner that goes to Berlin. I thought she was gonna be a double agent because it's one of those where all these tropes that you've seen before happen. The only reason I don't think she was a double agent was because she literally there you meet her and then she goes to Berlin and that's it. So I'm like, oh, we've not spent enough time with this character, but yeah, and then It's just little stuff like Ken John is in this, and he's like the CIA director. And I didn't know what vibe they were trying to go for because sometimes it feels like there'll be a 10 to 20 minute chunk where they're going for the joke, and it's really a hysterical comedy. But then other times it feels like they're going for that straight comedy where it's a regular world, but there's funny stuff happening. I would have preferred Ken John is not in this movie that much, but I would have preferred the get a serious actor to do some comedic stuff like they did in True Lies with Charlton Heston, like they did with what was I just thinking of? Oh, the other guys with Michael Keaton. I like that route. Of course, Keaton's done comedy before, but you know what I mean. More established as a dramatic actor. This is anytime he was on, felt like they were going for that. All the CIA stuff was lame. There's so many just stupid head scratching stuff. There's a moment in this movie where this movie ends where a plane is driving at Batista and Batista has a knife. He gets on his knees and he pops the airplane tire and it spins the airplane so he can save the little girl on it. There's so many head rolling stuff. The CIA acts like the CIA until they don't have to. They literally do this thing where they're after this. The plot of it is okay. There was this little girl, her mom, and the dad. The dad was a bad guy, not a bad. They established not a bad guy, just bad decisions. But he was doing criminal activity with his brother. He gets killed. He had some information. Of course, the criminals are after they can't find it, so they're watching this little girl and her mom to say, "Oh, the criminal's going to come in," and then Batista, of course, gets entwined, and it's a conflict of interest, blah blah blah. So they keep going to this bad guy who I can't remember his name. I saw him in Saw. He's been in Shoot 'Em Up. He's an actor around. He's not awful, but he's just kind of fine. They do scenes which are very boring of him looking for this information. He's killing people. He's killing people. And then the CIA King John and that girl agent I told you about track him down in Berlin. And they get up to this warehouse. They see him there. They get in the warehouse, and the warehouse just flame comes out of it. And there's bodies there. And they come back to America. So, yeah, he's dead. Mission's over. You can get out of there. You can go. And they fire Batista because of conflict of interest with flirting or, like, dating the mom. But they're just like, the mission's over. It doesn't matter. It's like, we closed it. The body's dead. But what they did was... So there's fire that comes out this door, and then King John and his team are walking. So the door is this is for the video people. That's why I go to YouTube. Door's right there. King John is walking with his crew. They go in the door, but just literally as they're walking, the camera over the shoulder shows our main bad guy walking away, literally walking at the slowest pace. At the point where if King John just sneezed and it looked like there he is. This is the CIA. I'm not part of the CIA. I've not had any problems with CIA. But I imagine the way they talk about this movie, they have things everywhere. They're pinging stuff, looking at cameras. So they just believe that he walked into a warehouse and they say that he blew himself up just to commit suicide. I guess he also had a gun. So I've never been suicidal and I've never been a criminal suicidal. But I just don't know the difference between I'm going to shoot myself to I'm going to blow myself up to kill myself. I don't know. But yeah, he just slinks away, and then they go, "Oh yeah, case is closed." So no cameras, nothing track this guy, and of course the bad guy gets back to America. He kidnaps the little girl for the information. That's where this plane thing comes in. So stupid. I'll shout that the little girl actress is really good in this, which is a thing that happens lots of times nowadays. We talk about this podcast that child acting is a lot better nowadays than it used to be. So another actress that I'd be primed to see in an X-Men or some other thing going forward. She was very good. I think her and Batista had good chemistry, a fun back and forth, some good dialogue here and there. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing that was like had me belly laughing, but I got some chuckles. But that's where the CA stuff just was stupid. Anytime for plot reasons to maybe put Batista in a difficult situation or whatnot, they're acting like the serious, this is the CIA, but then other times it was either joking or just, very loose. Like, oh yeah, guy's dead. Case closed. We're not, the the trail's cold. We're looking nothing in this case. It's over, especially because there's still apparently this information that's really important still out there. But they say, nah, case over. He's dead. All right. I guess. And it was very lame. And then when Batista does that, he comes back because they fire him and he comes back to CIA and he saves the day and blah, blah, blah. And Kirsten Shaw, who's in this movie, I'm a big fan of her from Last Man on Earth. I know her from Toy Story as well. I think the other thing was Daily Show. She was awesome Daily Show. She continues to be one of the most underrated comedic actresses out there. She can take any line, and she's honestly, I think she's the ones that I laughed at the most. Other than Batista had some good reactions. There's at one point in the movie where he saves his bird in this like romantic moment with the mom, and he's like, "Oh, he just needs some milk." He puts it on a recycling bin, and then a hawk comes down and gets it, and it's very cheesy. But Batista's he just his fear. He's getting pretty good at this, and so there's some stuff. But she made me laugh because she can take any line that's just fine. Not that funny, but the way she delivers it or how she communicates it is fantastic, and I hope she gets more work down the line and just becomes more popular. I just want to see her in so much other things. So she's great, and go watch Last Man on Earth if you never have, if you liked her. But even in then, Will Forte is great. Yeah, this movie, it was fine. It's nothing, like I said, I recommend it if you really want to see Batista. If you want a kind of family-friendly action movie, like I said, maybe that 10 or higher preteen era, you have that. Again, if it's on Prime, you already have it. That would be great. It's another movie that, hey, it was going to go to theater, so it's kind of like there's no new movies, but here's a night at the theaters at home. I would say I think there's kind of like Extraction. There's other things I would recommend, other movies. Go watch The Last Dance with the Michael Jordan doc, which is great. Go watch the OJ Made in America, which is on Crave, which I've been rewatching. I think there's many other things you could watch and feel better about. But if you want to watch something new, I don't think it's the worst thing. If I had to say watch this or Extraction, I would pick this. But it depends what you're into. If you're really, really into Extraction, go watch Extraction. If you want kind of something light and some fun, if you like Batista, go watch this. Yeah, that was my review of My Spy. There's not much more to say on this bad boy. Let me know. Head over to our Twitter and Facebook as always, or follow me on Twitter. What do you think about this movie? Did you really enjoy it? Did you have the similar thoughts as me? Yeah, let me know. I don't think there's too much to ask me, but if you have something to say, you know what I want to know? If you have two things I want to know. If anybody could tell me, these would be great. So at the beginning of the movie, they're setting up the mission briefing, right? And they're in the CIA offices. Multiple movies do this. Is anyone in the CIA, use a burner account, don't use your real account. Are the CIA rooms always weirdly colored? Like this one was blue tinted, and that happens in a lot of movies. Sometimes it's like red tinted, or it's orange, or it's just darkened, but it has like a different type of like white light. Is it always the rooms are dark, and not just like a regular mean dark? Like they're always dark with a weird like a blue bright color. I just find that and everyone like, is this a like, I don't believe they would do this because there's no reason, but this happens in so many movies. It must be true, right? I don't know. So tell me that. And two, if you're in the Army, if you're on Mythbusters, or if you have any information, let me know. Could you go watch the scene too? Is that scene where Batista gets on his knees and pops the airplane tire with his knife possible? If it is, I'll give this movie a 6.1. But I don't think it is, and it's really stood out. I thank you very much for listening to this review. Next time, hear from me, and I'll be boring.